Another brick fan with a collectible minifigure series. This is Series 25. This is set 71045. It has 103 pieces, 12 minifigures, and each minifigure cost about $5. Just like the Marvel series, these come in boxes, so you can't feel them out anymore, which means that it's much more difficult now to get a series of 12 than it was before. Been lots of stuff online on how to find them. There's weights that I found was not very accurate. In fact, it was very, very difficult using the weights. There are too many of them that are close together in weight. Another way to tell was to look at the codes on the bottom. So there's a manufacturing code and then another code on top of that. So combining that with the weighing may work. The most reliable that I've seen, and this is kind of hit and miss because I think there were a couple of different lots of these released, but was to look at the QR code that was on the bottom of the box. So if you look at one of these boxes, there's a QR code here. And I think this one's the smaller one, which supposedly doesn't work. But if you if you scan this QR code, you get a number, which I think Jay's Brick Blog had a list of which numbers corresponded to which figures. And like I said, if you find the right packaging, that does seem to work. But again, it's still hit and miss. So essentially they've made it very, very random. As to some of my favorites, I really like the Knight. And I like the Goat Herder, of course. This is the one everybody was looking forward to because of the goat piece that hasn't been around for quite a while. There's also a really nice piece here with the dog groomer that turned out nicely. There are some really good pieces in a lot of these here. The Noir detective over here has a really nice collar piece. There's that nice keyboard print there for the gamer girl. And then there's the metal for the sprinter there, as well as a couple of nice printed pieces with the fitness instructor as far as that kettlebell and the water bottle she has. And then, of course, I always like the costume characters, so that Triceratops is a nice costume. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at each of these figures. Here are our first two figures. So first up is the Noir detective. So he's here all in black and white, but interestingly comes with this red fish. And then, of course, a magnifying glass, because what detective isn't complete without a magnifying glass? Our gamer girl has this mouse and keyboard done in this nice fluorescent colors, which I thought was really nice. Most of these keyboard pieces we've gotten in the past have always been just black and white. And then she also has this trophy in pearl gold. Taking a closer look here, the Noir detective has this really nice cap here. Set that whatever direction you like. And then he's got the turned up collar from his trench coat. Of course, the gray trench coat with a white shirt and a black tie underneath it there. Dual molded legs on him as well. Our gamer girl has this falcon, it looks like, and looks like some kind of mountain logo over here on her shirt. The pink hair, the blue lips. She has one of these headphone pieces that have been around for a few years, so that turned out nicely. Dual molded arms, or at least dual colored arms here. Does have some printing, so you get the matching little bird there on the side of the pants she's wearing. Some good detailing here on the back of our Noir detective. Of course, he does not have an alternate expression because he's wearing a hat. Nice pink hair here on our gamer girl, and you see she's wearing the Vita Rush shirt there. So she was probably some kind of sponsored gamer. And then here is her more frustrated or sour look, I suppose, than the one she's wearing. Again, side printing here on that. So those are our first two minifigures. Here are our next two minifigures, and once here on the left is our Vampire Knight, and then on the right, of course, is the Sprinter. The Vampire Knight here has a shield, as you saw, which is very nicely done with this really nice bat type logo. Has a axe. Now these axe pieces have been around for a while, but it's the first time I've seen him in a trans red color. Of course, he's got a crossbow bolt and a pipe piece here to kind of build that axe out. His helmet is very large helmet, as you see, with the big wings on it, and there's his face with the glowing red eyes and the teeth. Really good printing here all around the figure. We'll take a look at the sides here in a moment. Here's our Sprinter with this big hair piece here. Nice smile on his face. Apparently he's won a medal. He's wearing around him underneath there is his number. He is wearing some prosthetic legs there. So perhaps a Special Olympic athlete or something like that, which is good to see. And as you see on the Vampire Knight here, he does have some printing there on the sides, also dual molded legs. And then, of course, on the back is that same logo we saw on the front, and then some additional detailing. So this is a really great cape piece for the knight. It's very stiff material, so hard to see the back of the figure. But here you have his alternate expression with an open mouth. It looks like he's using some hypnotic eyes or something. Let's get that cape out of the way. And there you see the back of the figure, which is pretty much the same as the front, kind of a modeled armor type look. Here is the bib number for our Sprinter. He's bib number 2024, which is obviously the year this came out. And here he is sweating and grimacing, so perhaps this is when he was running his race. The Sprinter did also come with this printed 1x2 brick, which is the podium, so apparently he won first place and the gold medal. Next up we have the Goat Herder and the Mushroom Girl. Now, of course, the Goat Herder comes with the goat mold here, which hasn't been around for many years. It is, of course, just white. The original one, when I looked up the photos, had some brown printing on it, some brown spots on the goat. So this is a slightly different goat. I like the nougat kind of colored horns here and a pretty good face. So a very nice goat piece. So if you're a collector of Lego animals, it's good to get a new animal in that. You see the Goat Herder here with the dual molded legs. Looks like he's got a little tile there for maybe a snack for his goat. And then, of course, a walking stick here. He's got a hood piece, which looks pretty good. Looks kind of with a medieval look here, with this kind of collar here that you used to see in the Middle Ages. Our Mushroom Girl has this great cap piece. Looks like a mushroom. It also has a little hole in the top there, so you can put like accessories that you might see with the Friends sets. I like this butterfly. Is, I think, done very nicely, very colorful. She does have the short legs, so they do not bend, but then she has a white skirt piece here. So she's actually fairly plain as far as it goes, with the plain printing there on her skirt. You see that our goat herd has a patch there on his shirt. And then a backpack, so he can carry like those studs, for example, or some food or snacks for himself. Here's his alternate expression. It looks like maybe he's resting. And then our Mushroom Girl also has a smiling face on her as well. Next up, we have a fitness instructor right here. And then we have a Triceratops costume kid or person. The fitness instructor comes with a couple of accessories. So one is, first of course, is the water bottle that she has. And of course, it's Vita Rush, which is the same as the one that's on the back of the Gamer Girl. Of course, one of these little studs with a post as the straw, if you will. There's a kettlebell. At least I'm calling it a kettlebell, or weight of some kind. So you see it has the 10-pound weight marker on it. It's just a Technic ball piece. So that's a nice use of that, nice new print for that. You can see she's got this nice braided hair and this very blonde look. She's sweating a little bit on this look, on this facial expression. Dual molded legs here. Once again, that little mountain logo that we see on many of these. And then there's a sport written on her sports bra, I suppose that is. And then she's got some abs exposed there. Our Triceratops kid here has this really nice headpiece. Looks really good. Good printing here with the toes and the knees and everything on him. Both of these characters do have some arm printing. Now get a better look at that Triceratops head mold. You see he's got the spots on his arms here. The back, of course, of the Triceratops is all with that brown spotting, and then the nice tail here that continues the printing here on our fitness girl. Now here is a smiling face when she's not working out. And then here is the alternate expression on our Triceratops costume guy. As I said, both of them had arm printing, so you see this very detailed tattoo, I would say, on our fitness girl, and then more of these spots here on the Triceratops costume. Next up we have the Harpie here on the right, and a train costume kid here. The Harpie is nicely done with his pearl gold claws. You see here, she's got the pink head and then this shaved head look. So I really like this little hair piece. We'll take a look as we move around the Harpie to see those better. She has these odd legs, so they're not normal minifigure legs. They're kind of angled there. So I think it looks like kind of like a satyr legs. If I was going to say that, I think these leg pieces have been used in other places. I don't think they're unique to this. Of course, and then the big wings in the back, all done in this nice purple color. Our train kid here, we can move that smoke out of the way. You see he's got a nice smiling face here, and then he's got an eye patch for some reason, wearing some overalls and a red scarf. This satellite dish here is printed with a 25 for the number of the train, which is kind of cool. And if we move around these figures and look at them from the side, you see the printing on the arm of the Harpie there. The train costume itself is done with a couple of these skateboard wheels, and then just one that's printed on the mold, because that allows his legs to go in there. Now he does have the mid legs, so they do move. Get this around here and take a look at the back. See, the back is relatively plain since our kid is wearing this cap, which is actually a really nice cap piece. It doesn't have an alternate expression, and neither does the Harpie, because she has this kind of ponytail look with a shaved head. And then you can see these large wing pieces here that are just on with the 1x1 clips. So two of our larger minifigures from this collection. When I went out and originally bought them, I found several of these Harpies. It seems to be a pretty easily found piece, or a pretty common print, or a pretty common minifigure in boxes. Our last two minifigures include the Fierce Barbarian, you see right here on the left, and then the Dog Groomer here on the right. Now the Fierce Barbarian has this really nice sword piece, which I liked very much. This is a newer sword piece, I think came out last year. You see there is a stud on it, so you could put a gem or something else on this piece, or mount it to the wall, I suppose. So this is a brand new sword mold that came out last year. The Dog Groomer, of course, has this pair of scissors for doing the grooming, and then comes with this big dog. I think it's maybe a poodle, or I'm not great on the dog breed, so someone I'm sure will correct me in the comments. But this is our little dog. Here's again, the better look at the dog with that nice printed face with the gray and then the eyes there in the black and white. A little bit of dark gray here, so multiple colors on the print for this dog. Obviously it's a long-haired breed, which would have to go to the groomer on a regular basis. Looking closer at the printing on the two figures, I think the Fierce Barbarian, you see some mud across her eyes here, or perhaps war paint. She has the traditional medieval look here with kind of leather and a big wide belt with some metal worked into it. She has the straps on her boots here. Looks like maybe a fur skirt kind of thing. It looks like there might be some bear skin between that and the boots. The dog groomer is dressed in this nice kind of teal blue with a pale blue pants and then an apron with, of course, the dog paw there. Moving around to the side, you see some printing here, some bracers on our Fierce Barbarian, and you can see that little gap. So she is wearing some kind of skirt here. It looks like, and I'm just guessing here, this I think is a cochlear implant. So perhaps the dog groomer here is deaf. That's just, again, a guess on my part. It could be just a cell phone headpiece or something like that, but since it's only on one side. Anyway, the Barbarian has this really nice integrated headband in her red hair and a nice braid that goes down the middle here. You can see her alternate expression, and she does have some more fur-lined cap perhaps back here, or hood, as part of her clothing, and then of course dual molded legs. The dog groomer also has an alternate expression, as you see here. Just a little bit, you just see the apron tie, maybe the black here represents the belt of the apron on the back of the dog groomer. Once again, a bracer on this arm here for our Fierce Barbarian. So now that we've looked at all 12 minifigures, let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts on this series. Coming back to sum up, I think this is a really good series. Lots of very nice prints, lots of accessories in this series. That sword for the Barbarian, the Fierce Barbarian back there, is a wonderful sword. I believe that came out with the Dreams sets, but I thought that turned out really nicely. I like the Triceratops head mold there for the Triceratops costume guy. The Knight is probably my favorite. Vampire Knight, or I think some people are calling him the Fright Knight. That is really probably my favorite one out of here. The Noir Detective is really nicely done as well. The pet from the pet groomer and the goat were certainly very nice to get, and I really like that butterfly, as I mentioned, for the mushroom gal. So overall, a very nice series. Still disappointed that they went with the different packaging, but I think that's what we're going to have to live with for a while, so we'll stay on that. I'm going to get started on my next video. So until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my LEGO content. I've left a link to my other collectible minifigure reviews up here on the screen.